Welcome to Centauri Stir Fry. Stir Fry here. How the heck are you? Hope you're having a good day. Today I'm talking about Hellboy. Okay, it's another Hellboy piece. You don't see a whole lot of reviews on this guy. There's not a whole lot of info. He's kind of an older piece. I believe this came out at the same time the first movie did. So what was that? 2000? I don't even know. 2001, 2, 3, 4, maybe 2005. I have no idea when the first one came out, but this is great. This is Abe Sapien. Ichthyo Sapien, I believe is what they say. Ichthyo, I'm pretty sure. But he's his third scale statue, fully sculpted. It's an older piece, it's not perfect, but I just like the presence, I like the character, I love Hellboy. Another thing that's really cool that I picked up over the weekend is they were having a sale, so it was like a half off sale. Man, I got Cedar Destruction #1, this thing is brand new, minty fresh, black cover, no dings. This thing was never opened before. I kind of opened it to look through it just to get my little grubby little hands on it. Because I have all the trades, and I'm starting to think about getting those. I'm going to get those library editions. But I got all the trades, BPRD, and a good portion of his trades as well. So I have a pretty big collection of Hellboy, but not a whole lot of single issues. So it was cool to get the very first Hellboy series of his own, and this is badass. So this is like, this is like what the movie's loosely based off. There's some major changes, but for the most part, it's there. And this is the origin. This is when they find him, and see his little hell baby. Rasputin's in there, the frog monsters. It's actually a really cool horror story, initially. That's what's cool about this book. The story is awesome. It's more of a horror vibe. Although this one was actually scripted by John Byrne, and I think plotted by Mike Mignola. And Mike Mignola found his thing and got in there. I think Byrne only worked on Cedar Destruction. So that's cool. Very cool, very nice copy of this book. I'm super excited to get that. Been wanting that for a while, been eyeballing it for so long, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. I do have his first color appearance, and it's not a high grade, it's only a 9.2, but it's really cool. This is in John Byrne's Next Men. I actually have a good run of Next Men. I actually liked that series as a kid. I really liked it, but for some reason I don't think I ever had this, so I had to buy this separately. I got this a couple years ago too, and it's just cool. I had plans to kind of put it behind some Hellboy statues and things like that. But I haven't done it yet. But yeah, this is the first color appearance of Hellboy, which you asked me, it's the first appearance. He was in some weird con book, if I remember right. Sip, Greedo mug, Greedo sip. Taste that bounty. Okay, so Abe Sapien, third scale statue, Sideshow Collectibles, older piece, like I said. This is from the movie, and there are pretty big differences between the movie and the character. This Ichthyo Sapien, I believe. They found him. They found a little note scribed on this tube, buried in a lake somewhere. I forgot. But it said Ichthyo Sapien. They named him Abe because it was dated in 1865, the year that Lincoln was assassinated. So they just called him Abe. That was his adopted name, and they kept him in a tube for a long time. They experimented on him forever. They were not nice to Abe. Actually, it's quite a bit different than the movie. They were not cool to Abe. They were actually kind of mean to him. And Hellboy was like, hey, cut it out. Stop it. So they let him go. He was Hellboy was out running around on adventures and stuff, and he was always left behind. And he was inside the bureau forever, and they wouldn't let him go outside. Sometimes he'd, go outside. He would kind of pull like a thing, disguise. He had a beard, a hat. Did the same thing that Ben Grimm used to do. Pretty much exactly the same thing. But Hellboy ran off on these adventures, and him, Abe, and Liz Sherman actually were pretty tight. So they actually had a kind of a friendly relationship, much different than the movies. They were close and tight, and he didn't actually become a field member until much later. Liz was out there running around before he was. But very cool character, very awesome. He's fast, strong, regenerates. There's a healing factor. The dude's no one to fool with, man. He's cool. And it plays a pretty big part in that first series too, the first storyline. It's kind of similar to the movie, but much different. It's actually a little crazier. They try to take control of him a little bit. If you haven't read Hellboy, check it out. Do yourself a favor. Find some cheap trades or whatever and check it out. I think it's going to do it for now. Now we're going to get some close-ups as 1/3 scale Abe Sapien. He's huge. I really should have. I'll tell you what. We'll do a size comparison of him and the Hellboy premium format, the Mike Mignola version. That'll give you a better idea. Alright, stick around. Okay, here we go. This is the Sideshow Collectibles third scale statue of Abe Sapien next to the Blackest Night Batman Pop. Okay. Alright, here he is. Third Scale Abe, looking pretty good. He's huge. Here's the gauntlet. He's very tall. He's a big dude. Very cool. Like I said at the time, they were doing all kinds. I gotta dust this thing off. They were doing all kinds of different scales for Hellboy when this movie came out. Pretty heavy piece. It's one solid piece. There's the separate base and this. And he's almost wobbling. There we go. Whoops. The base is kind of like the VPRD symbol. It's not real tall. It's the figure that's tall. So, like I said, I don't really see a whole lot of reviews on this guy, but I think he's pretty awesome. I dig it. I got him pretty close to my Hellboy premium format that came out about 6 years ago. And like I said, it's like one of the few pieces that my wife lets me keep in the bedroom, which is cool. She lets me keep the monsters in there, but no comic book guys. There you go. Okay, here's the base of this guy, of the Abe. It's pretty cool. I don't know if you can see it, but I believe you can. That's why I left some of the dust in there, and I didn't break out my makeup brush. So I wanted to highlight there's the fist and the sword. It's the BPRD patch, Insignia, whatever. So that's why I didn't dust this thing completely. I was doing you guys a solid. But cool, really cool, awesome paintwork on the legs. I really like that. It's really sweet. Look at that, man. It looks lively. Like the paint job on the skin looks lively. I really dig it, especially on the feet. They did a really good job. All right, let's go up. Okay, here's a look at the belt, which looks pretty. It's okay. And then it's kind of probably the weakest part is this belt here. It could be better. It could be a little better. There's a little sculpted insignia thing there. This is like an older piece, so I'm sure it's all hand sculpted. The pose is really awesome. I love that freaking hand. Look at that. Oy, look at that. And like I said, this webbing's real thin. Or maybe I didn't say that, but it is. It's real thin, but it's polystone. Did not break. It's so cool. And I love the skin look. It's just very nice. Very cool. And there's, like I said, the weakest part is this weird belt. Look at the size of that pouch back there. I mean, it's basically like a fanny pack. I mean, he must have I'm guessing he has Twinkies and cassette tapes and all kinds of things back there. I mean, he was running around in 1979, so that's probably what it is. Cassette tapes. He probably had Boston, Kiss tapes in there, so I'm thinking. Journey. There's another hand looking pretty nice. I really dig that. The skin effect is great. Yeah. So, belt pretty weak, but skin, cool. Yeah, now we're coming up to this midsection here, which I really like. I like the design there. It's kind of like a cool little wetsuit vibe to it. Here's like I said, the breathing apparatus that he didn't really have in the comics, but in the movie it was cool. It was always bubbling, and I kind of liked that. Swinging right here to the side, sort of right here, is another insignia, VPRD, but it looks really bad. That's not great. That little thing right there, kind of crappy actually. Swing him around here a little bit. Here's the back. Pretty decent sized back. I mean, here's my hand. The gauntlet, which, he's not like Hulk or anything, but third scale, he's actually pretty big because he's a little guy, You can see a little fin right there. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit of a fin. It's real thin, polystone, high quality. Not bad at all. It's actually pretty heavy. Come on, focus. There's the buckles, which are okay. The paint is actually really sloppy. It's really just a character appreciation for me, and I like the size of it for the most part. There's a lot of negative things if you want to get close, but from far away, it's awesome. I don't know. I mean, I don't really ever jump up on my statues. I know that's a common thing that people talk about. Especially when you do these reviews, it's like you get way up there, a lot closer than you're ever going to do in reality. All right, here's the head sculpt. Like I said, kind of weak. It's kind of a weak head sculpt. I like the mouth. I like the sculpt itself, and the paintwork's really cool. But yeah, those eyes are just kind of wonky. Like you got one that's a lot bigger than the other, which is kind of like your standard Sideshow eye placement at this point. But yeah, it's meant to be like that. Kind of like you're supposed to pose it like this, I suppose. I'm not really sure what they were thinking. I kind of wish the goggles weren't on there, but yeah. Breathing apparatus is there. It'd be cool if they. I don't know. It's okay. I like the design of this, but I'm not really feeling the goggles. And if you get really close, you can see that they're not. It's not a super detailed job on that. But I think that I hardly ever get up close on this guy. I mean, he's so big. Just the presence of it alone is cool, and the character appreciation. Hellboy fan that I am, it's just neat. And I think what's really cool is the paint on the skin. I think they did a really good job, and this is awesome. See those little lines in there? It just looks alive, or it looks like maybe like makeup. It looks like the special effects makeup almost. Very cool. So yeah, there's some designs there on the back. I think it's actually kind of nice. think the light's kind of blinding some of that out, but they did a pretty good job. I'm not really sure why everything else is kind of almost brushed on, and this is like you can see the hard lines. It doesn't bother me, but it's strange that it doesn't quite match the rest of the body. Honestly, I don't care. It's like, how many Abe statues are you going to have out there? There's not really any of them. I think there's a bust, a little bitty bust. Sideshow also made like a smaller bust, which I actually kind of thought was ugly. But I almost picked it up. I don't know. If you guys own it, chime in, let me know. But I kind of like the little bust they made. But this is like the only full large-scale statue of Abe there is. I know they made an animated one that was like 6 scale, which I do have that too. Okay, here's a size comparison of the Sideshow Collectibles Hellboy premium format. This is the Mike Mignola version. Next to the 3rd scale Abe Sapien. I think they look pretty good together. Hellboy's like on a really awesome base, and there's a snake, and man, I don't know. I need to do a review on this guy, but there's a lot of good ones out there, so I don't really need to. This is how I display him, though, with the freaking horns and the crown. Whew. Awesome, great piece. Still one of my favorites. And I got a lot of crap, and that's just one of my favorites to this day. Next to the good old-fashioned 3rd scale Abe, which I do love. I love putting these two together, and I think it's awesome. So I think that's going to do it for this episode of Centauri Stir Fry. Hey, thanks for checking it out. Be cool to one another, man. Be excellent to each other. Remember to spay and neuter your pets, and Magneto is right. We'll see you next time.